What's up, guys? Welcome back to Down Under Discussions. I'm Jake, and today we're doing a quick movie review, first one of the channel. Um, it's going to be fairly quick. I've had some dental work done, so I'm a little bit sore, so bear with me. But I could not review the new Scream. The new Scream was released today here in Australia, tomorrow in the rest of the world, I believe. It may even be out now, I'm not sure. It's the seventh movie in the series. Crazy that the movies have been going since 1999. It continues the legacy of iconic horror franchise, bringing back familiar faces, but while just also trying to evolve the story for a new era. And with Kevin Williamson, who wrote the original story, stepping up to direct it, I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't know what I was walking into when I first went in there. It's the first time in a little while since I've been to the movies by myself. But that was good because it gave me a chance to really enjoy the movie without having to be distracted by talking to someone or something happening, or I kind of just got to sit down and just zone out for hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever the runtime was. And I must say, at the end of it really surprised me. This Scream, it was good. The last Scream hasn't been that good. It's been pretty predictable the last few ones. For me, the last one I enjoyed was probably Scream 4, and before Scream 4 was the original, and this was as good as them, if not better. Um, Without spoiling anything, follows Randy's three simple rules. If you don't know who Randy is, you should probably go back and watch Scream. Um, Rule number one, bigger body count. Rule number two, elaborate deaths. And rule number three, the killer is never dead. I'll leave it at that and leave that for interpretation however you want to do it. Standout performances in the movie. Neve Campbell as Sydney Prescott, by far. Outside of that is Ghostface. But Sydney Prescott, it goes to show if the movie and the series isn't surrounding her, you shouldn't release it. We should call it something else. Call it Stab or something, but don't call it Scream. Scream is Sydney Prescott and Ghostface. It isn't characters you've never heard of, all of a sudden popping up and being this iconic horror, survivor or whatever you want to call it. The original Scream Queen is Sydney Prescott, and before that is Jamie Lee Curtis. But Sydney Prescott takes the cake in this one. It was one of those movies for me. Surprisingly, there wasn't many pacing issues. Like there weren't many pacing issues. It was pretty consistent. Like there was no real take 15, 20 minutes for boring stuff to happen before the next exciting thing happens. It was pretty consistent and solid, which was great. The tension was there. There were a couple of screens that make you sit back and go, whoa, all right, geez. Okay, we're doing that, which is cool. But it showed me that Ghostface still works. The character still has not lost that menace. When you watch iconic horror movies, Friday the 13th, Child's Play, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, those horror characters, your Freddys, your Michaels, your Chuckies, they lose their spark a little bit. They just genuinely start to lose it, and the movies become uninteresting. Just like all franchises, if you repeat the same thing over and over again, it gets pretty old pretty quickly. And this one was the exception to that for me. Scream 7 was the exception. It goes to show that that the character has not lost its menace, which is cool. I'm curious to see if they do another one. The movie leans into its self-awareness again, which is great because when Scream's clever and wants to fuck with you, it can, and this one was pretty clever. If you're a fan of the franchise, this is for you. Easy, hands down. It's as good as the original, and I was genuinely impressed at it. And movies don't often impress me these days. We're so caught up in can't do this, can't say this, can't do that. Even this movie's copping some hate. And for that, I just say, go and buy a movie ticket and zone out for a couple of hours. You'll enjoy it. Trust me, you'll enjoy it. The final score for me for this, though, I would say 8.5 out of 10. Some may say that's a little bit high, but for me, it was just refreshing to see a movie with creativity. Like you there's not many left, especially when it comes to slasher films, killer films, horror films, thriller films. Um, yeah, it's rare to come past a slasher film that keeps you engaged and locked in to watch the entire movie, and you genuinely walk out thinking, man, that was actually really good, which was good. It was a nice surprise to have that. And it was very refreshing. So that's it for the movie review. I'm not going to go any further than that. I'm not going to spoil it on you. But if you do see it, please let me know what your thoughts are. Give me your rating. Tell me what you think of it. Make sure to follow, subscribe, like, tune in for the next episode of Down Under Discussions because my next guest will be our first ever in person interview. And it's going to be an awesome one. So I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks again. Cheers.